Welcome to part 3 of the Air King 4607 radio. I have a cord on it. I found a nice black polarized cord, quite flexible. I got it at a yard sale. So, as you can see, I am going to try to put rubber bands through here, up here, and around here. I left the spring in, and I cut the string real short. I'm not going to try to string the dial cord. I'm not sure how it goes. There is a diagram on the information several of my viewers gave me, and including Doug. That was the most clearest copy of the Sam's Photo Fact, so I appreciate that. But it doesn't show you how many turns to go around here, which is usually 2.5. But it don't tell you clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm not going to fuss with that. I'm going to put a rubber band. You probably can't see that in there, but on that shaft, on the end of the shaft here, come up here, and I'm just going to go around this. And then I can tune the tuning capacitor. I'm not going to worry about the dial, and then I'm going to tape this down on here. I had it taped on, but it didn't hold good, so I'll put the tape on the front. We'll leave the dial sitting in the middle like that and call it good. The speaker temporarily is uncovered. The glue is holding good, of course. And there is a little puncture here. I can put some more glue on it maybe and try to fill that in. The voice coil is not bad. Very, very little rubbing. You can see there's 2 spindles here. They're not even pulleys. They don't turn. The cord comes out, but it don't look like it's all that hard to do, but I can't do it. I just can't see that stuff to do it. And even when I could years ago, I never could. So we're going to try a rubber band on here, and if it stays on, fine. If it don't, well, we'll just set it to one station and call it good. Bob told me rubbing compound would be good for this. When I saw Bob last week at the Jewett City Flea Market, he says rubbing compound will do good. I don't have any. I have Brasso, but Brasso did not work too good on the, I think it was either Philco or Emerson. I think this is the Emerson. This is the one that needs knobs. It's still dull. Brasso didn't do anything to it. So at the Dollar General I can get some spray wax. I don't know how good it is. So I could try rubbing compound, but I'm not going to do it on this cabinet. This cabinet's already been scrubbed down enough with, and got a lot of green stuff out of there, so I'm not going to mess with that. So probably on this, I don't know if I should. Maybe I'll just try Brasso on it. I don't know. I'm not very good at this stuff at all, and I just as soon leave it alone. You know, let somebody that knows what they're doing do it, because I ruin things. Just like with dial cords. Now, I have strung a couple of dial cords years ago, and they always slip, and they always turn the wrong direction. So, what I've done a couple of radios since 1959, only a couple, and then I stopped. I said, the hell with it. I always have somebody else do them for me because I never can do them. But so we're going to do the elastic band thing there. We'll go around and around and try it before I put the dial on and see how that works. Then I'll glue a little more on this pit here, this little hole here, and then put the protection back on until I can get it into the cabinet. On the knobs over here, there was two of these felts that go up against the cabinet and the knob goes over. There was two of them on there. One fell on the floor and it disappeared in Never Never Land. Like everything else, they drop and I never find them again. Like these magnifiers here, I had two others which were a lot better. A green one and a better black one than this one. Gone, vanished. I looked all over. Anything goes on the floor down here, gone forever. And I was on my hands and knees with a flashlight and couldn't find it. So the felt is down there somewhere too. All right, enough talking. Let me get you on a tripod so you can see my spectacular work putting a rubber band in place of a dial cord. I don't know if anyone else has ever done this, but you're going to watch it here on the Blind Tinkerer's Workshop. All right, folks, you ready? Eh? You're not? You don't want to even see something like this? What'd you say, Ron? Oh, Ron is laughing over there. You're going to use a rubber band? Oh, and I can hear John from Arkansas. Come on, you can do it, you old fart. I can hear a few other guys out there, too. I can do it with a rubber band. Question is it going to be too long? I don't have anything smaller than this, and I don't want to double it over because it'll come off the track. So the question is, the question of the day. Let's get this. At a nice cord, I got it through the grommet. It really fit very tight, so I guess the original cord was probably a lot thinner. Well, let's see here. Let's go over the pulley. So I was afraid of the rubber band. The rubber band is too large. And I have O-rings from Harbor Freight, but they ain't going to be going over that. And I don't have any cassette drive belts in the shop. Cassette drive belt would probably work quite well. Well, I got it on there, but it's not going to work. Now, what if I took this and brought it under there? It's flipping over, though. Nope, it's not even turning it. Let me see. And it helps if I get the pilot light out of the way. All right. Nope. It's in there. It's around the pulley. The rubber band is moving, but it's slipping 99% of the time. Now it stops. I guess, folks, the rubber band idea is not going to work. Well, it looks like what I'm going to do here is set it, when I put the dial back on, set it to a station. It's going to be hard. Set it to a station and just leave it. A strong station, whatever that is. The radio will not be a general player. Just not going to happen. But it is working. So, the rubber band idea, let me just try one other thing though. Let's go up to here. Let's do it that way and see what that does. Nope, nothing. Well, no, it did turn a little bit. Alright. Well, I tried, folks. I tried. I can't even see that. Damn spring is so small. Let me trim that. Little piece of string off of there. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little masking tape in here. To keep the spring from falling out. I'll be right back. Alright, so that way I won't lose the spring. Someday, when I kick the bucket, somebody else can do the dial cord. And they will at least have the spring there. It's actually, it's more of a simpler type of dial cord than on a Hallicrafter's radio, for instance. But it's too hard for me to do it for eyesight reasons, and it's too complicated. Dial cords are very complicated. Some radios much worse than others. This is probably a more of a simpler one. But the diagram does not tell you how many times to go around this shaft, which is usually 2.5 times. It don't tell you whether to go clockwise or counterclockwise. It is not listed. There is a diagram on the Sam's PhotoFact copy that Doug sent me, and as well as somebody else had sent me, of this radio, but it does not give you very much. It just gives you, it's a very rough diagram, and it really does not help me. So what I am going to do now is to dig out my flat blade and get the dial plate back over, but the problem is I put tape on this to hold the damn tape. You can't get it off. That's why I don't want to put it on the face. They put this tape on here to hold a pointer on here. And the tape is coming off. It's a SOB to get off in little pieces. But I may have to tape the front, and I really don't want to do that, but I'm going to have to. Let me get rid of this Scotch tape here, and we'll get some new. This is the regular tape. If you use the what they call the invisible tape, that stuff comes off in little pieces. This here is a lot better to work with, and that's what I've been using. So we'll put it here, and I'll bend up two of the corners here of the tape And the reason for that is whoever does work on this will be able to lift the tape right off and it'll come off, provided it doesn't sit here for 50 years. All right, see, that's a lot better. It stays on. Now I can put some tape on the back and do the same thing. This is not how I like to do it, but I don't want to lose the dial pointer. Let's see, I can't, where's my magnifier? I can't do nothing without it. No, I didn't pull over the corner yet. Okay. All right. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Now let's see. Flat blade, okay. Flat screws. Then I can let you hear it. The radio only picks up 2 stations. Oh, come on, you gotta be cross-threaded now. There we go. All right. Da 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 dee 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 dee. Okay. Okay. Get this back in. I got a new pilot light in here too, by the way. Okay. All right. Now, the original loop coil with the red and the black dots, which didn't show up too good on this. There's the red. And goes here. Black goes here. I'm not sure if it matters even. Hey, am I still recording? Where is the radio here? Oh, the viewfinders on these cameras are so damn small. Okay, we're in picture. We're in picture, folks. Paramount Pictures. All right. I'm going to glue this here, but I'm not. Yeah, there is a hole there. I glued all the cracks and everything, but I got to put a little bit of tissue paper in there and then put a little Duco cement on there. I got another tube of Duco cement. I haven't opened it yet. I'm trying to get everything out of the one I have now. So, okay, let's get this plugged in. Turn it on. And we'll put a volume control knob on here. You're going to hear a lot of static, and it takes a few minutes for anything to show up on the, for the radio to actually come alive. And the tubes are good. Everything's tested good. Nope. It's not the light. The soldering iron's not on. I wonder if it's my main... Nope. Now what the hell would I have here that would be doing that? I don't have my LED light here on or plugged in. Oh well, that's... Sorry folks, I can't get you a quiet... reception here.
Then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the In-Flight magazine. And that's the last you saw of your savings. Yes? This is so weird.
That's because it is.
Weird? Not really. Not living now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feels like $1 million.
I peaked up the IFs by tuning, weak station. I did that yesterday off camera. And it's 455 KC. I didn't use a signal generator. I just peaked them up with the station.
And of course, Christmas time we celebrate a lot of Jesus, his birth that we're celebrating, but you have our legend. But then you also St. Joseph. I have a special love for him. I really do. This guy from Nazareth who has taken Mary to be his betrothed, then he finds out she's the child. So he just mentioned, how do you get that right? Say, well, it's not by man, it's by the Holy Spirit. I mean, that's hard. Unless you are
The station fading out. I gotta watch out for the copyright Nazis here. They'll be after me. Yeah, that's these wires here. All right. Tune the antenna here. Can't see the slot of the screw. Isn't that something? These were all peaked up earlier, so I can't get any better than that.
Identity. Then he's all up in. He is perfect case of somebody who's only Jewish when convenient. They can stuff it with this whole, I'm Jewish, therefore I have capacity to speak on this. Nonsense. Nonsense. If the only reason that you're citing your Jewishness is so you can pretend to be a minority, or so that you can...
Coming in pretty good. And the power switch is working, but I had a little erratic resistance readings when I checked it. When I first started working on the radio, I was getting 7.5 ohms, I was getting 12 ohms, I was getting 0.5 ohms, and then, it was jumping all over the place, and I just worked it back and forth. We're going to turn it off now and unplug it from the dim bulb, which is running full. It's not on the dim bulb. We'll disconnect this and this for now. Get this loop coil out of the way. I could not get, I don't want to lose the knob, I could not get deoxide in here. There's no hole in the controls at all. You'd have to drill a hole in the Bakelite back of the switch. I'm not going to do that, and then inject the deoxide in there. I will never, like some of the guys I've seen do, take a switch apart. No, sir. My eyes don't permit me to do that microelectronic work. Cannot do that. If there's a problem with the switch, I'll just replace the control, or just short out the switch and pull the plug from the wall. As it is, the switch is good. I did take some deoxide and I injected it in the 3 terminals here, but there's no hole. So I would say most of the deoxide just ran down inside the chassis and onto the bench. But I tried. And it appears that the switch is working good, and after working it back and forth quite a few times, it's reading roughly under a 0.5 ohm. Now you got to remember, you got the resistance of the meter leads, and these are not like the leads I made up, which are well under 1/10 of an ohm, because I used 18 gauge wire on it, as I showed you in my earlier videos from my test instruments. But nonetheless, these usually read about 0.2 ohms. So you gotta subtract that from your switch reading. There is a resistor. First of all, let me explain about this 100K resistor right down here. Right here. It is definitely not on the schematic. So this schematic here is made for the model that uses the 35Y4, but this is the only schematic that there is. Not a problem, it's pretty close. And I made a sloppy diagram of a 35Z5 so I can convey it across to this wiring here. I don't know if you can see that, but you see this 2.2 meg resistor here? One end goes to the high end of the volume control, which is right here, and you can see I replaced it. I don't know if I can get a flashlight to work now. See it right there? 2 reds and a green is what was in there. 2 reds and a green shows 2 meg on the resistor pack I have, but the schematic's saying 2.2 meg. So regardless, it reads exactly 2.2 meg. It's a 5% resistor, 0.5 watt. Okay. If you follow the other end, the bottom of that resistor, let's get your magnifying glass under this. See that knot of wires? Some of that knot was there. I added to it. There's that resistor. Brown, black, and yellow, I believe. It looks like a 2-watter. It goes to the bottom end of that 2.2 meg resistor, and the other end goes to, hang on a minute, pin 6 of the 7B7. Just two different magnifiers here so you can see it. Okay, that is not on the schematic. So I'm disregarding it. It reads high, but I'm not even going to worry about it. I don't know what function it serves in this radio. As you can see, as I told you, it goes off the opposite end of the 2.2 meg resistor. One end goes to the high side of the volume, which I showed you. The other end goes up and to the secondary lower winding of the secondary of the first IF transformer. If you follow over more, you will see the 0.05 microfarad capacitor to ground. If you follow up, it'll go to the secondary of your antenna coil. So that resistor is not in the schematic, because I think this schematic is the 4608. Mine is a 4607, but maybe mine's a 4608. Regardless, it's very helpful because that's the only schematic out there. So I'm not going to worry about that, scratching my ugly old head, trying to figure out where that 100,000 ohm resistor goes, because obviously it's not on the schematic. Now, we've got a resistor up here, which is 270K. Right here off the 14B6 tube. You see a 470K to the right of that, and then the one I have my little arrow pointed to, it's a 270K. It reads 328K. It appears to be a screen or plate resistor. I have to get the tube manual out. The problem with these schematics are they do not put pin numbers down. They tell you what the plate is, the cathode, the screen, the grid, and all that. But they do not put tube pin numbers, and it's very aggravating. So I have to get my good old tube manual out, and that's why you see these numbers on here, because I wrote them in. So I need to get a 270,000 ohm resistor, and that is located right here. Red, purple, and yellow. Right there. You see the 470K half watt to the left. You see the yellow capacitor that I replaced to the right. Right in between them. Red, purple, yellow. Goes to the apparently the screen, but I could be the plate. I think it's a screen because there's one side of your electrolytic, your 33 microfarad. So in other words, being that that's high, there's going to be a little less plate voltage. But primarily that's going to affect the audio and not the receiving of the radio. Now, while we're here, you can see that I think I did a halfway decent job on the electrolytic replacement. I put in 33 microfarad, 250 volts, yet I'm only getting about 110 at the most. So these are overkill. Nichicon capacitors, I think I got them from Sal's when I first set up my shop, but I'm not sure. On a terminal strip, which came out of that DeVry oscilloscope. I saved everything from it and grounded it, and utilized the 1/4-inch screw, self-tapping screw nut, tightened it down to the chassis. And the power cord is grounded and knotted and the other end is run underneath the clip where the original power cord was. The only difference is both conductors ran through that. I couldn't see doing that because I had to come over here with the neutral, and it's connected to the hot side is connected to the switch, and the grounded side, the hot side of the other end, the switch part is connected to the plate of the 35Z5. So, we are basically done except replacing this resistor. I have the value, but it's only half watt. That looks like a 1 or 2 watt, similar to this. So, probably have to go to Jan Electronics. Charge me an arm and a leg for stuff over there. I don't get discounts anymore. Those days are gone. The only electronic place within 50 miles that I know of that you can walk in and get just about anything other than vacuum tubes. They do not have vacuum tubes anymore. So that's it. Oh, by the way, I put in an order to Sal's Capacitor Corner for the capacitors that I needed. I ordered 10 047 630 volt. That should carry me over. I have no idea what the Philips uses because the Philips list picofarads, and I have to go hunt down my chart to convert it over. Like one of them's 10,000 picofarads. I can't figure that out. I need a chart. They do not list like 047s, 0.01s, 005s, 02s, 0.01, whatever. They list everything in picofarads, so I'll have to wait and get the Philips on the bench, and hopefully the capacitors themselves will have the proper markings on them, like 047s, 0.05s, whatever. If not, I got some conversion to do, and that's going to be something I'm going to have to hunt down the chart. Could be anywhere. It could be back here, hanging behind my ESR chart. It's not here. That's a bulb chart. I got stuff all over and I have to dig it out. Okay, so I did a lot of flapping on this video. This is going to conclude part number 3. There will be a part 4, but primarily it's going to be when I get it back in the case. There will be no dial string attempt. I cannot do that. It's beyond me. I don't care. You can argue with me all you want. Some guys say it's easy, no problem. Well, good. It's easy for you. It's not for me. So that's it. And I'm going to work on the speaker off camera. We're going to get this hole fixed, and I'm going to get the speaker covered up, back up again with the protective cardboard. See my deoxid spilled all over here, spraying it. So anyways, that's it, folks. I tried with the dial cord and the elastic band routine, but obviously that isn't going to do it. And I can't use a dial cord string, even just going from here and around, because I can't keep the tension on it. Because I have to fiddle with the spring, and if I'm going to fiddle with the spring, I might as well try to do the whole thing, and I can't do it. It's like threading a needle. You see how much trouble it is? I need a magnifying glass to find a slot on the screws, for crying out loud. Okay, so that concludes that. I'm going to glue the speaker. You can even see light coming through. Yeah, we got to deal with that, folks. Not a problem. and then we got to cover it up because I will poke a hole in it. You know what would be good to put on this is a 1/4-inch hardware cloth. Unscrew these, put the hardware cloth, cut a piece out here, you'll have it right over the top of this at all times. Put the hardware cloth and tie these two down with little thin wire and twist it on there so that the speaker will always be protected when you pull the radio out of the cabinet for servicing. Then you never have to worry about putting cardboard on there. And the hardware cloth is very thin, and it'll go right up against the grill with no problem. Okay, enough chattering. I'm going to work on the speaker, and that's it. This concludes part number 3. Stay tuned for part 4 when it'll be in the cabinet without a dial cord. Take care, everybody.